Hi, everybody. Hi, art fun seekers. So today I'm going to show you pretty quickly how to fold the correct paper snowflake. If I see another 8-pointed snowflake, I just cringe this time of year because I see so many of them. And if you've already watched the video, which I hope you have, you know that there is no such thing as a 8-pointed snowflake. It's impossible. They do not crystallize that way. So I'm sorry, but when we make our paper snowflakes, they do have to be correct mathematically, because I'm a math geek and it just upsets me. All right. So we're going to make them today. This is a big one. This was made with a 12 by 12 piece of paper. And you can see the 6 sides, the 3 and the 3. It is a hexagon. It is correctly folded. You can use any paper you got at home. I've tried to get some stuff that those of you, here's if you want to make a yellow snowflake. I know you're supposed to be afraid of yellow snow. Notebook paper. Most of you have this stuff. If you rip it out of a spiral bound, you got, just rip off that frayed edge there. Also magazines, if you got them. Junk mail. Don't tell me that you don't have a piece of paper. Junk mail. What was the other thing I was going to say? Newspaper. You even get those like coupon sheets in your mail. You can do it with a tiny piece. It's going to be a little harder, but a Post-it note, that kind of thing. But if you can get the size of for your first one anyway, for your notebook paper, maybe I'll do my yellow one today. So I was going to do my magazine, but maybe I'll do the yellow one today because a lot of you have notebook paper. Maybe I'll do the loose leaf. Okay, so the first thing we have to do with our paper is we have to make a square because snowflakes come from a square. All right, the hexagon is going to fit in a square. So to make a square out of a rectangular piece of paper, a lot of you know this, but the shorter edge, what we're going to do is we're going to fold the diagonal, the shorter edge up to the longer edge. Try to get right corner to corner. Try not to, you know what I mean? Try to not, and it's hard to see, but try not to do this. Try to really get close to that corner as possible and really line it up. The more accurate you are with your folding, just like when you're doing origami, the better your snowflake's going to come out. And I creased that pretty good because that one's good. All right. From here, you could do the thing with, if you had a ruler or sometimes a piece of paper is enough, but you could draw a line. And then we're going to fold back and we can cut this. Oh, I just drew the line on top of the piece of paper. Sorry, guys. And there again, we want to be really close. We want to kind of just get it exactly where it is. So we could draw that, and we're going to cut here. We could also, for those of you, and if you don't have scissors for this project, you're in trouble because the last part you need scissors. I'm gonna fold this over. If you don't want to draw the line, if you seem to be missing, I'm going to fold that over. All right. For this part, if you didn't have scissors, I'm going to try it. I'm going to crease this really hard. I'm going to run back and forth. If you have a ruler or something, you can really scrape that with. That's going to fold it. Sometimes, and I'm going to do, because I'm going to do the ripping method, I'm going to fold it back on the other way. And what I do is I put my finger on the part that's I'm going to tear away. That kind of stabilizes it. This is how you're going to get a good rip. And we're not ripping it up. And I know this is like ripping technology, but there's an art to all of this stuff. We're ripping away. All right. And it's pretty good. It's going to leave you a little fuzzy edge, but that's all right. A lot of this we might end up cutting off. So there's my nice, all right. So there's my square. And mine looks, you can see it's a little fuzzy, but it's good. Okay. So this is a square now. All right. I am going to go ahead and now fold it the hamburger way, or it could be hot dog. Since it's a square, it could be hamburger or hot dog. But instead of folding it diagonal, we're going to fold it quarter. And then we are going to fold it into the quarter. And this is how a lot of you are kind of have been doing snowflakes. And then you do it again. All right. But we don't want to do that. All right. Because we're just going to use this center line here as a reference here. And this is where the handy dandy Protractor comes in. Some of you have these at home. I've also included in the lesson the printable Protractor. Okay, so this is just a piece of paper with the numbers on it. And what a protractor does is it measures a circle, it measures the degrees in a circle. Skateboarders, if you know how many degrees there are in a circle, Tony Hawk definitely did, there are 360. They're not the same thing as temperature degrees. I don't know why they're called degrees. I don't know. We call the same things, same things. English language does that all the time. Okay. But there are 360 degrees in a circle, hence Tony Hawk's 360s, his 180s. So if you're doing a 180, what are you doing? You're turning yourself halfway around. So you're facing the opposite direction when you do a 180. Okay. So you should learn these things. All right. 90-degree angle is a right angle. And that's the one that is like a square, right? 90-degree angle, okay? So protractors, all right? Protractors, all right? I actually, a long time ago, made these kind of cardboard templates to help kids. I had elementary school kids doing this, and this is just a piece of cardboard cut with our 60-degree angle on it. But that's for kiddos, okay? I'm a lefty, so I usually do this side, but you can do either side. Maybe I'll try to do this side, all right? So protractor, all right? And I'm actually going to try and do it upside down for you. Here is the center, all right? And make sure the center is at your bottom left. I don't know. Now I'm trying to do it upside down. So here's all my openings. Here's my full. You can have it either way, but this is the center of the paper here. All right, this corner. All right, on the protractor, there is a little X here. The bottom of the protractor is not where you put the corner of the paper. And the same thing on this printed one. It's not the bottom line here. It's where this little target, this little, the circle with the crosshair in it. Crosshair, there's another one you're familiar with from your shooting games, okay? We are going to line that little dot where the crosshair is to the center of this piece of paper, okay? And I'm going to show you how to do this without a protractor if you don't have one, okay? So here's my 90, all right? And here's my 0. And here's the numbers, 90, 80, 70. And it'll go both ways. So here's my 0. It goes, you know what I'm saying? Like it starts from 0 here, okay? So what we want to do is we want to get a mark on the 60, okay? Because we're not folding this thing in half at the 45. See this, that if I folded it in half, this would be 45. We want it on the 60. So I'm going to make a little, which happens to also be the 120 if I'm counting from over there, all right? I'm going to put a little line where that is. And I can do it on both sides, okay? So that's how I would do it there. I'm going to do the same thing. And I would probably cut this little, I printed my printable protractor. I'm going to line it up with the center, okay? And I've drawn a pink line with highlighter where my 60 is. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to draw a line, okay? And I'm just continuing. If I wanted to, I could kind of like use a ruler if I've got it. So I have that. So see how these are all, and I could connect it, all right? So here's how, and I'm going to show you how to like eyeball it, all right? Because a lot of you don't have the protractor. So there's my 60, okay? I'm going to flip it over. Here's my other center. So we can do some eyeballing. There's center. This is 90 degrees, okay? So think of we're cutting, this is a quarter of a piece of cake, okay? Delicious cake, all right? So here is if I'm going to cut an 1/8 size piece of cake. That would be, I'm cutting the cake into 1/8. So, because this is a quarter, the whole thing. So that's kind of in half. If I have to cut this thing in thirds, all right, because now I have 12 people in my family. All right, so I have to cut it in thirds. Sometimes this line's distracting, but sometimes it's not. But just look at this circle, look at this shape, and kind of give yourself, and you can draw a couple different lines, but do those pieces, think about cake, all right? Do these pieces, and I know I have a lot of lines here because that's kind of how I draw when I sketch. I keep drawing lines until I look, do these 3 pieces look equal? They're pretty good, all right? You know, you ever play that game with whoever cuts the cake, somebody else gets to take the first piece, because that prevents you from cutting a huge piece for yourself. So you have to cut all 3 pieces, but somebody else gets to take the first piece. So that's why you want them equal. So I think they look pretty good. So we only want this one here because this is the 60. This is the 30. I had to draw that one to kind of eyeball it, but this is the 60. I'm going to try and draw 60 upside down. The 60. Okay. So we're going to open this guy up. And actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold right where that line is, where that 60, I'm going to fold it. Then I'm going to open it up. I'm going to fold this over. And I was pretty close. If I was exactly right, it would have folded right to here. But that's for, you see how far off I was? So here's the real one. From the center, and try to be accurate as possible. If you use the protractor, fold it right to your 60. Okay. I was a little off. Here's my line. There's my line. So, you know what I mean? If I had estimated, and I'll go ahead and do it with my estimated one. All right. I'm a little off. Then you're going to fold this side. So remember, this is the center. Fold this one over here. So you have like a little cone. If anybody's ever made a disposable paper cup, that's kind of how you start. And you can kind of open this up and you can actually fill it with water. Pretty quickly, you can fill it with water and get yourself a drink. All right, so there is our 2 folds. So what it is I folded over to my 60, and then I folded right on top. And if it's a little off, you're a little off, right? It's a snowflake, all right? At least it has 6 sides. Now comes the fun part. You can do anything you want with this. So here's kind of your part that you got to cut off. So we can start, and this is where you're going to need scissors, guys. You can't rip this, all right, because you're cutting through everything. All right. I'm going to start there. As far as you go in, you can cut the center out. Just remember, when you're cutting, don't cut all the way from one side to another, but you're cutting all along there. Okay, so I can cut, you can cut some pretty big pieces out. Just, you know, remember, I don't know. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I try to do circles. They are hard. And you remember, you can do half circles because that'll be, I don't know. And and you can definitely do hearts and things like that. I don't know. This is going to look kind of weird because I have one side that's straight. All right, maybe I'll do something at the top. Don't forget the top edge, because that. All right. So you cut. Remember, the bottom was the center. I always forget where my camera is. The bottom was the center. You cut things along one edge, the other edge, and then cut. Don't forget to do the top edge. That's where the outside edge is. So that can be cool. And maybe I'll add, I don't know, just another little one. Okay. So now is the unveiling. We open up. Just be careful if you've made a lot of little cuts. Just be careful when you're opening it. Okay, because they do. So there you go. Everything is 6 centered, 6 sided, 6 pointed star, because I cut a little diamond out of the tip. And you can see your 3 here and my 3. So it was good that I did different things on the different sides. If you like to do them symmetrical, do the same shapes on both sides when you're cutting. See what I'm saying? If you like a symmetrical snowflake, do the same. I would do the same cuts on both sides, and then you get more of a symmetrical thing. If you like the idea of doing the 3 and 3, you can do different things. All right. There is snowflake. Good luck and happy 6-sided snowflake paper, snowflake making. You know, I don't know. Good luck. Bye.